Hey guys, tomorrow I'm going to start welding the frame for the trailer, but I wanted to take a moment to go through some of the products that have made my build easier that I've learned and wanted to share with you guys. So jumping right into it, I want to talk about the plywood itself. Go to a good lumber place to get your wood. I've bought most of this wood from Fine Lumber in Austin. The quality of the actual plywood compared to what you'd get at Home Depot or Lowe's is massive. I think it's a little bit more pricey, but not much. I don't know if I have a piece to show you, but when I would cut into the wood, I would actually see gaps in the ply with the Home Depot. There's a bunch of imperfections in the Home Depot, or Lowe's. I bought from both. Fluctuations, not perfectly straight wood. Versus when I went to Fine Lumber, when I cut into it, majority of the time, all the ply was there. There was no gaps in the ply. The quality of the wood was just massive. The wood was straight, no knots in the wood. So I think they take a time to maybe scrap the garbage wood. Where Home Depot, they put it out no matter what. So, and it's your job to try to dig through the wood to get reasonably quality wood. The other thing. If you aren't confident in your cutting skills, I know places like Fine Lumber for a little bit of a charge, they will cut most of your panels for you. So if you want to spend a little extra money and make sure you get good cuts, look into that. They'll do it all to size and everything. So that may save you a lot of time. And then you may not have to toss away wood if you had some bad cuts in there. Okay, the other piece I want to talk to you about is the Bondo. So I had a wood version of this that I used. This stuff is pretty hard to work with, actually. It's another kind of an epoxy two-part, similar to the fiberglassing. This is not what I was using on the trailer. I was using like kind of a wood version of this. It hardens really fast, and when you got a lot of cleaning up to do, this was a pain in the butt to use, actually. The only reason I would recommend the Bondo is I feel like this actually has some structural integrity to it, strength to it. So there was a spot where I actually cut a hole in my trailer for lights, and I did not like the way the lights set into the trailer. These were your reverse lights and your brake lights. I didn't like that. I had to cut a huge hole, and then it kind of just friction set in that hole. So I decided to scrap that, but I had already cut a hole. I fixed that hole with this stuff, and I feel like this is just as strong as the plywood. I mean, it was I put wood back in the hole and then patched it from both sides, and that it's legit. Like, that is a serious fix. So if you're looking at adding structural integrity and strength to use this. But otherwise, this stuff is awesome, and I don't feel like it's as hazardous. You just add water, and depending on how much water, you can get it in different consistencies. Where the Bondo, you have to get the ratio right. Where this, you can kind of make it thicker, make it wetter, whatever, and it goes in really easy and dries fast, and it gives you plenty of time to work with it too. So, but this I would not trust for any sort of strength. It's really just getting my surface and gaps nice and smooth. Good stuff. Now, I haven't tested this stuff, right? So, I'll do a video probably a year down the road or so and see how these things work out. But all this yellow right here, this is this product. So my plywood kind of like bowed in when I sucked all this up together, screwed it all together, and the plywood kind of bowed, and then I was able to get that out and get it flush. Well, my dad, I think, took care of that piece. He did most of that piece. This is huge. This is another recommendation from my dad. Torque screws. These are so much better than using Phillips. It's pretty much impossible to strip these. So you can really get in there and get after it with these torque screws and not have to worry about the Phillips coming out and stripping it. I don't think I've stripped a single one of these. So I'd highly recommend switching to torque screws. They come with a Torx bit, and then I think I've only worn out like one Torx bit, and I've gone through like 3, cartons of these guys. How many are in here? So I'm on like almost 2,000 screws or something, 1,700 screws. And I've only used, worn out one of these bits. Highly recommend it. Some of this stuff is quite obvious for others. Using an impact instead of a drill to to put your screws in. The impact just makes it everything so much faster. You still use a drill I use a drill to pre-drill the hole and then use an impact to put the screws in. Much better. Takes a little finesse at first, but once you get used to it, you can really set the screw exactly where you want it. So highly recommend impact. All right, this guy, belt sander, even the cheapies. You know, if you're not great with your cuts, this guy will save you. I mean, it can take away wood really fast, but if you got a little overhang, little imperfections in your cuts, when you put it all together, this guy can make you look like a professional. You can take away that wood, get everything nice and pretty. I'm terrible with a jigsaw. I'm not good at it. I'm able to get like perfect holes and everything after I do my jigsaw cuts. Get everything square, nice and flush with just the belt sander. So seriously, look at a belt sander. It will save you so much time. This last one, it's helpful. I would recommend it, especially if you're not good with straight cuts. I didn't use this much, but when I did use it, it was awesome. Which is a guide. So, and I'll talk about this just for a second. First off, Makita tools are, for how much work I do, they're a little out of my price range because I'm not a carpenter or anything. So I don't use these tools a whole lot. But the guide was great, and I found another tool that works with it. So this will give you nice straight cuts. Your saw can slide down in these grooves. You can attach the guide. It's got a little bit of a rubber, so it kind of sticks to a certain degree. But also you can just put a screw in and hold it in perfect place. And then your saw will set into this, and you can slide it down and get nice, straight, perfect cuts. I used it for the galley door. That's something everyone's going to see at the back, and I want nice, clean, straight cuts on that. And then I use it for like a hatch over there. And then you maybe saw one of my videos. Yeah, it works really well. But here's the trick. Most tools won't work with that guide. This I couldn't afford the Makita tools, but this Win plunge cut saw, I think it was like $70 versus the Makita that goes with that guide, it's like $300. This thing worked great. I have a few Win tools now, and they have all been great. I think the biscuit joiner is I think a Win as well. But yeah, I've been really happy with the Win quality, and their prices are very, very reasonable. So it's a plunge cut track saw, and it just happens to fit that guide. Okay, guys, I think that's really it. That's what I wanted to cover. Hopefully you guys can utilize some of this information and make your builds a little easier. If you guys have any other things that are like helps for you guys in your builds, leave a comment. I'd like to hear it. Thanks.